Hey guys, back here with Tua for another video. Pup date time, week 42. If you're new to this channel, I do this style video every Sunday on my Bullmastiff Tua as he turns another week older. And I do these videos just to kind of create a log of information for potential future Bullmastiff owners and for myself to look back on one day on his life and just kind of report my experiences with the breed. I had a lot of questions going into getting a Bull Mastiff when I was researching them, and so this is just going to be like a week-by-week breakdown of exactly what I experienced with Tua, touching on subjects from physical growth to his drooling, his trainability, what I'm doing to socialize him, all kinds of stuff. And basically, if he turns out to be a great dog, which he has been so far, it'll kind of be just a great log here to see what I did to kind of help shape and mold that. So hopefully these videos can help out somebody that's interested in the breed and just kind of give you an inside look at least what I'm going through with my Bull Mastiff. Normally with these videos, I like to start out with just kind of new stuff from the week or notable stuff from the week. We did get him a new bed this week. We wanted to take the one that we currently have and put into his crate or his kennel because we've just been using blankets and he kind of likes to chew on those. So we just wanted to get another bed, and the one that we have currently fits perfect in there. So I just got him one from Walmart. It's called a Vibrant Life bed. It's kind of on the cheaper side. It's like $30, but it's huge. It's very big. It's probably double the size of the current one that we have. It's not as thick. It's not as good a quality or anything, but it'll make do for what we want to use it as, which is just kind of to set in our living room there. And most of the time when Tua's hanging out in our living room with us anyway, he's just kind of laying by us on the floor. So that bed's not as important as like being a good, comfortable one for him. But for the price and for the size of it, like I said, with how big it is, it's definitely worth it, I think, and it'll do the job that we want it to do. Another thing from the week that I haven't brought up in a while that I'm really starting to kind of notice, it's in my head again, is the marking that Tua does. He loves to mark on pretty much everything now outside, and only outside. He's never done any sort of marking inside, but like he's peeing on bushes, he's peeing on like poles. We have a swing set in our backyard. He likes to pee on that. Even like our little like patio end tables he'll pee on. We have some daycare kids toys outside and he'll like to pee on those, so we kind of got to hose him down at the end of the day or after he's done it. It's kind of just a thing that male dogs that are unfixed are kind of known to do. And sometimes even indoors. So thankfully he hasn't done any sort of marking indoors at all, and hopefully it stays that way. I would imagine it will if he hasn't done that at all to this point. So, but he definitely is a marker, which is pretty typical with unfixed dogs from my understanding. And then the last thing from this week that's kind of on the lighter side, funnier side, is with how tall he is, which I update you guys on height monthly. And I can't remember the exact height, so don't beat me up here too bad if I say too tall. But I want to say he was like 29 inches a couple weeks ago, the last time that I had updated on that. But he's so tall that he's easily able to just walk up to our table, and his like chin is above it. So we're really having to be careful with like what we leave on that table. He's usually pretty good about not like messing with any of the food. He knows that it's not his if it's up there. But he definitely likes to sniff it and kind of lick at stuff. But that's something to keep in mind. If you're getting a Bull Mastiff, these dogs, they get big, they get tall. And if you're not willing to kind of change the things that you're doing, such as simple things like that, just leaving stuff on the table, they can easily get to it once they start getting older and bigger and taller. Now we'll go ahead and touch on the things that I do every single week, starting with weight like normal. So Tua was 118 pounds last week, and now he is 120 pounds, so he's up 2 pounds. Last week, I believe, was a 4-pound gain, so he kind of slowed down again this week to a 2-pound gain. Still on the skinnier side, but like I mentioned last week, I'm definitely starting to notice he is filling out. He's he's starting, I mean, you can still see his ribs, but it's starting to like be dumbed down a little bit. You can definitely tell he's putting like size and thickness on. So that's good, but that weight at the same time is coming on, relatively slow, which is exactly what we want. We want him to stay kind of on the skinnier side for as long as possible and put that weight on nice and slow so that there's no issues on his joints or anything like that going forward, or at least delay that as long as possible. Food is another thing that I touch on every single week. If you're familiar with this channel, you know that I supplement with raw meat and fruits and vegetables. This week I did chicken wings and hamburger meat and strawberries again. I'm still working on that big bag of strawberries. And with the wings this week, I did the same thing that I did with the chicken wings last week. He is such like a crazy eater that he's not big into like chewing very often, especially with bigger items. He tends to like swallow whole. So I mentioned last week with the chicken wings that I wanted to make sure he chewed them up good. So I was giving those to him after his meal, or with the chicken feet last week. But I did the same thing with the chicken wings this week. After I gave him his hamburger meat with his kibble and his strawberries, when he was finished with that and we got outside to go to the bathroom, I then would give him his chicken wings so that he would chew them up better. It's just kind of a choking hazard if he doesn't chew them up. And I just didn't really feel like cutting them up either. So doing that is just more for peace of mind for myself that he's not going to choke on it. He just tends to chew it up better. And with that raw diet, go ahead and ask me any questions on it if you'd like. Do a lot of research yourself too. But it's a good thing to get these dogs, lots of good natural nutrients that they wouldn't normally get through their kibble. And I mean, I'm not going to say a whole lot on it, but it's a really good thing to do for your dogs, and it's kind of a fun thing to experiment with different raw foods to give them. Really good for them. Go ahead and check it out. Socialization is another thing that I touch on every single week. We got Tua on a couple walks this week, and we actually got him out to a park as well. But there wasn't a whole lot of people or dogs or anything on those walks, and at the park we had the whole park to ourselves, so he didn't really get to meet any new people or dogs this week, unfortunately. And I was kind of thinking about this last week. We've just been so busy that it's been a while since I've gotten him into a store. So I think I'm going to make it a point this week to just go out of my way and get him into a store, since it has been so long, and get him kind of back into an unfamiliar situation, around unfamiliar people and sights and sounds and smells and things like that, and just see how he reacts again, because it's probably been, a good month or so since I've gotten him into a store with just how busy life's gotten here recently. So I'll definitely go out of my way to do that this week. But we have properly socialized him from a very young age and exposed him to so many different people and dogs and sights and sounds and smells and animals and all that kind of stuff. So he's done great with all of that. We've put in a lot of time and effort to make sure that we've done that. It's just been, kind of as of late, it's just gotten busy. Drooling is another thing that I touch on every single week, and it's a big question that people have when going into getting a bull mastiff. He is definitely a drooler. However, I would say 90% of his drooling is related to when he's drinking water or eating food, and then that last kind of 10% would be, if he's like panting heavily because he's outside playing or exercising and it's hot, he'll get some drool coming down. But the main issue would be around that water. And it does create, quite the mess when he's drinking water afterwards. It's all pouring out of his his jowls. And you just kind of have to be prepared for it. You have to have a paper towel or a rag to wipe it up, or just accept the fact that it's going to be on your floor. For me, not a big deal, because I'm usually standing right there when he's eating and drinking anyway. And I just wait for him to finish up, and then I just simply wipe his face and jowls and everything down with the paper towel, and off we go. Energy is another thing that I touch on every single week. For the last probably month and a half, I've been telling you guys that his energy levels have been coming down overall after they kind of peaked. And same thing this week. Overall, they were down again. He generally has, an hour or two in the morning and an hour or two at night where he wants to play and run around and stuff in the yard. But other than that, those couple times a day, he'll pretty much just sleep the day away or just kind of lounge and lay there and just want to be by us. I will say though, he had some pretty intense zoomies on Tuesday night. Like literally his last potty break before he went to bed. He was outside and he was just sprinting around the yard like crazy for a good 10 minutes. And then after that, he just kind of completely collapsed and was ready for bed. But we haven't experienced zoomies with him for quite a while now that I can really remember. So I thought that was kind of odd and just a little bit random. But he is still a puppy, so he's still going to get those zoomies every once in a while, I guess. But yeah, other than that, you know, pretty low energy dog, but at the same time, like I've mentioned before, it's not like he ever turns down an opportunity to go for a walk or anything. He gets excited for them, and I routinely take him on 1 to 2 mile walks, and he does great, and he doesn't seem to slow down or anything throughout those walks unless it's like extremely hot or something. So yeah, not a very high energy dog right now, but at the same time willing to go ahead and run around a little bit or go for walks. Barking is the last thing that I touch on every single week. Barking hasn't really changed a whole lot in the last, 3-4 months here with Tua. He is not much of a barker, except for when he's playing with other dogs, particularly our dog, our other dog, our miniature pinscher. Or if he's like in a situation where he feels like he is like in a guard mode or something, generally in our yard or around our house, if there's a strange sound or maybe a strange person or something like that, he'll let out some barks, kind of like just the guarding instinct in him, I guess, just warning barks or whatever you'd want to call it. But outside of our yard or our house, if we're on walks and stuff and he's seeing strange people or dogs barking at him, from their own yard if we're walking past, he never barks at them. He just kind of perks up his ears, the hair on his back, and he's on alert, but definitely does not bark, outside of our home or outside of our yard situations. So yeah, generally quiet dog overall, which is the breed standard. They're not known to be big barking dogs that just sit out in the yard and bark at nothing for hours on end like a lot of dogs do. Other than that, guys, that's all I have for the week. As usual, if there's anything that you'd like me to touch on every week that I already don't, go ahead and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.